Welcome to Center of Light, where my aim is to always be clear. Clear of mind, clear of sight, pure. Hello, human, to the best you can. Clarity.
Access granted.
Everyone has access.
Access granted.
As we
go where no man has gone before.
Center of Light. Tonight we're speaking about zero. Center of Light zero. Center point. This was inspired by a brand new friend I met today. He's from Chattanooga, Tennessee. See if I can get his name correctly. I like trying to get names as close as I can on the first try. Hello, Gavin Lee Davies. Mathetis Sotoris Vila. Thank you for inspiring this beautiful topic, sir. Gavin Lee Davies and I have been working, as the last couple days, we're starting the campaign, worldwide campaign, for Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. My new release, July 31st, 2020. I am going to be reading some excerpts from the soon-to-be released bestseller. How do I know that? I love the idea. Join me, why not? Gavin, thank you. He's getting me on radio shows from all over. England, Australia. Wherever there's a show to be got, Gavin is the gopher guy, and he's really good at it. And I'm going to say how much I appreciate you, bro. I'm in it to win it, dude. Just like you. That's why we connect so well. Let me acknowledge everyone who's here. Rena's here. Hi. Dana. Hi, Dana. Carla Holy. Hi, Carla. Salvador Vila. Okay, Salvador. Keep reminding me till I get it right, bro. Because I know you're changing your names here, and I get it. Yanava. There's a changed name for you right there. Tammy Klein. Hi. Gavin is calling in from Wales. Very soon, I'm going to have open phone lines. We can do it now, but I'm going to set it up. But if that's something you think you might be interested in, be it with my guest or be it with myself, a question to call in and to be a part of in a greater capacity as we all move to this greater capacity. So if that's something you want to be able to call in and ask a question of my guest or myself, depending on the platform of the show, send me an exclamation point. I love that. I love to hear your feedback. I am always about feeding back, volley back and forth, and we become this powerful, significant, magnificent force with the source, of course. Tonight we're speaking about center of light zero point. Center of light, center point. So, that being said, I would like you to take your finger, follow me, play my game, please, play my game, and point to yourself. Point to where God dwells. What's the difference? How do you separate the pointing of self and the pointing to that which is inside of you? And that which is inside of you creates worlds and universes. That power is not far from you at all. It may take time. That's the illusion. Get out of the time by falling into the center point, the zero, where there's nothing. And in the nothing is everything. It's just a simple desire. It's an attitude shift. It's truly a will, a shift of will. Right now I'm doing this, conversing with you, and then I choose to stop, point to the center point, because doing so, touching your spot, touching your G spot, how you like that, will give you all kinds of pleasure. Your G spot, your God spot, how you like that? Touching your G spot, you massage it, you will get erotic in a very different kind of way, and your whole being begins to vibrate to the divine romantic encounter. It's a love affair. So you touch yourself right here. Touch yourself. You touch yourself with the intent of calling you divine lover. That's all it takes. Boom, you're there. And to the level, depth, degree, clarity one has about it all, helps them to ascend further into the God gate. There's no other way. I say that all the time. It sounds arrogant, doesn't it? Okay, well, then if you understand the word arrogant, but that's truly not what it is. This is from practice. This is from being a teacher, a student, very much so. In fact, student only. For being a student, a diligent, earnestly seeking student. There are many paths to the path. There's only one path. It's all the same. Once we get out of the dogma, once we get out of the religion, and no matter what religion, creed, code, walk, talk, or sect that you follow, it's beautiful. Congratulations, I'm glad you're doing that. But there will come a time when that is keeping you back. Nothing against Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, that. In fact, it's included. That's all. It's included. It's all part of it. But there's something else. And that something else is what those divine teachers were trying to say. Follow me. Literally follow me, because I want to put you next to me, seated at the right hand of the Father. He did call you brother. That belongs to you. In fact, it doesn't belong to you as if it's something you need to go get, because it belongs to you. It's what you are. In that regard, it belongs to you. It's your birthright. It doesn't require a lot of effort. It's simply wanting to be in the center point, and the zero. Nothing. And it's called zero for a reason. Zero meaning there's nothing in there except everything. And it looks like that. And it's calling you homeward, homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. It looks just like that. There's nothing in that. Is there? Do you see anything in that? Except your reflection. As I look into this ball, I see my reflection, and you see me through it. Upside down. So there's nothing in there. So what does that mean? It means that the nothing in there is pure potential for anything at all that could ever be. Guess who is the dreamer and the creator almighty? You. The one looking into the nothing. That's projecting what you think it needs to be, has to happen, should or should not happen, and all these things. But when you get that out the way and you're left with Yanava, everything becomes crystal clear. Welcome to the other side. To the inside, in fact. It's all inverted. It's simply just inverted. Invert it. It's inverted. So what you do is you invert it. What is the it? You just come home to yourself. There's nothing you want. Trust me. Well, I get wants. I got some wants. I got some really cool wants. And they're really, really big. And I'm going to get them. What I'm really going to get is the feeling that such things, I think, would fill me. I would like a really cool looking hot rod car. And if that time comes, I'm going to have me a really cool looking hot rod car. Until then, I really don't care. I have a Toyota Avalon 1998, 230,000 miles, and that car runs. It is just a purring machine. Center point. Just being in the center. There's nothing else I want. There's nothing. I understand desires, and we live our life. You know, I want it to be this author. I want it to be this guy, this expression. So I've created that thing for myself simply by want. How much does what we want fall into the space of what's truly good for you? What is truly good for you? You will only find that in the center point. Right here. There's nothing else. This is a garden. This is the kingdom. Seek ye the kingdom of God within, then all things shall be added to you. That hot rod car. That hot rod girlfriend, boyfriend, that hot rod bank account. Maybe you could just sit here tonight when you're watching TV or whatever it is you do and just massage your heart. Feels good. Try it now. Just touch your chest and just do this. What does it feel? It feels like you are touching something. Literally, you are. You're asking, you're beseeching, you're beckoning, you're questioning, where are you? And it says, I'm the one doing the knocking. So you see, when we knock for the sake of knocking, the door gets answered. When we knock expecting someone to answer the door, we stay in the riddle. We stay in the conundrum. So when we knock for the sake of knocking as an intention that I am the 0 point, I am the center point, keywords I am, and I'm doing the knocking as an intention that something I don't yet remember and or understand is going to open for me. There is no difference in the knocker and the effect of the knocking. None. It's the 0 point. It's not that is the point. Center point, 0 point, that is the point. It's not an expecting in my knocking. It does have that human quality, and I understand it, but we're trying to get not beyond human because human is bad, but we're trying to bring our absolute infinite grace into this divine, holy, sacred space right here, right now. So in the knocking of itself, the journey is complete. Are you hearing me? So you knock harder because you think you haven't been heard. And you knock harder because you think you haven't been heard. All it takes is a simple knock. I'll be right there. And it's done. But we want to keep knocking because that thing we want, this thing we want, these things we want, beautiful, mind you, they are. We kind of get pulled into it a little too much. Our knocking becomes a tidal wave. Water's great. A nice day at the beach for surfers with big waves is great. Tsunami is not good. If we can bring ourselves to the 0 point, the center point, truly, of just knocking, be done. Why do we think that we have not been heard? Maybe it's because Spirit wants us to continue our ongoing intention to say, show me how much you want it. Show me how much you really want this, because I've seen your past experiences, Mr. Keith Blanchard, and I know that you can be a this or that, and without judgment, of course, but I need to know that you want it, because until I know that you want it and that you are responsible, and because I love you beyond measure, I'm never going to put it into your lap. Could be that. But it also can be a factor of trust. For some people, it might just require you leave it alone. Of course, the universe heard you. How could it not? It knows everything. Can we bring ourselves to that level of grace, space, to replace all this incessant knocking? No one can explain that to you. Not even me. Not even anyone. You have to figure that out. That's your journey. Snowflake, fingerprint, that's yours. Center of light, 0. Center point. Thank you, Salvador, for the inspiration of this idea. I'm digging it already. I'm going to read you a little bit what my brother, my new friend, ancient cosmic brother, Salvador, posed. I'm finding it. Welcome, everyone. Is that Tanya's Puri Hapakuku? Tanya, Janie, Ricky Vito. I'm looking for it. I know it's here. Salvador made a post today after he and I met for the first time. The post I made was about a desert. When we live in judgment, it's like having an ice cream cone drop into the sand only to pick it up and eat it. And this is what he said. In other words, we ourselves are the one casting judgment upon ourselves. Honorable Yanava, do you believe that we are gonna be held accountable for our evil thoughts, our wicked deeds, and everything impure? This is phenomenal. Honest question. Truly, truly, I say unto you, I understand this teaching because I often judge myself like I deserve it. Or I deserve this every time something bad happens. So basically, I'm picking up the ice cream cone from the ground and eating it. What must I do to overcome this? Should I meditate? Should I fast? Should I pray? Should I accept my flaws? Bro, thank you. That touched me, dude. That's the 0 point. That's the center point. You walked up to the garden gate, dude. Listen to me. You walked up to the garden gate and you went. When you asked that question, you didn't ask that question of me. I'll be glad to give you my thoughts about it. But you didn't ask that question of me. You're knocking. Pose the question to the universe. Because you already know the answer. You're the one that asked, should I fast? Should I pray? Should I meditate? Should I this, that, the other? Where did that wellspring come from inside you? Who came up with these ideas of what you should do as to why you threw that on me? But I would lovingly love to share with you what I think. Yes, by all means. They all have their benefits. Regardless of which one you choose, or 2, or 3, or 4, or all of them, is not so much important. They are important, but it's not the all of it. So why not get to the all of it first, and then everything else is included? Trust me when I tell you, when you brought that question to the golden door, you're knocking by asking that question and answering your own situation. It's over. That's the center point. That's the 0 point. It's not a knocking and a waiting for a response. It's in the knocking. The response is given. Meditation is beautiful. I definitely support. I would call this one the 0 point. The last one you asked, should I accept my flaws? When you accept your flaws in such a way, you are fasting from everything else that you've been feeding yourself, the nonsense. When you accept your flaws, it will help you to become more naturally, by default, meditative. Becomes a prayer. So you can cut every little branch on a tree, or you can whack the tree down at the root. Either way, they will get done. But I would say first and foremost, bro, just realize you made some stupid mistakes. I make stupid mistakes still, and I'm still realizing the things that I want to be more noble at. Just love yourself, bro. And in the loving of yourself, it all stops. Loving yourself means to accept those denser qualities of Salvador. We have to love them and to be nurtured. Beautiful question. Let me look at it once again, make sure I covered it thoroughly, because you inspired me for this show, and I appreciate it. So I'm basically picking up the ice cream cone with judgment from the ground and eating it, self-judgment rather. What must I do to overcome? Should I meditate? Accepting your flaws will make you meditative. Should I fast? Accepting your flaws will remove you from eating the things that have been somewhat poisonous to you. Should I pray in such a way? That question is a prayer in and of itself. You're in the center point. You see, the quandary, the bullshit, the nonsense, the dogma, the religion is when we take it beyond that. When we take something beyond the center point, the 0 point, we're implying that there is something else. And if God is omnipresent, there is nothing else. I'm included. My flaws are included. So we need to, if we want to become conscious, unified with consciousness, God, divine parent, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, anything that means everything, just whatever, however you choose to deem it, there is no other way. You have to become exactly like it. Policemen become policemen by going to the academy to become a policeman. If you want to become Jesus, you have to go to the desert, the part of you that has to die and it becomes barren, until you triumph the desert, champion the mountain. And you become it. You have to become it. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. We begin to amalgamate, initiate, integrate, graduate, become it. It has to become you. It's not, because when we leave the 0 point, the center point, we're implying that there's something else. That immediately creates a wedge and division. A division between, as if there's something other than me. That's called taking absolute responsibility. And when someone takes absolute responsibility, it's me. I'm pointing to myself. Point to yourself. So we do this, right? Center point. So where does God live? People say, well, God lives in heaven. Where is it? Well, it's in everyone. Okay, so point to God. The story's over. The story is over. So if this is true, Keith, how are things in my life or people's lives that I know just so not in balance? Exactly. They're not in balance because they're living with this being all shrouded and clouded and doubted with nonsense, fear, horseshit, tomfoolery, Tom, Dick, and Harry, whatever it is. And this is not able to do its job by shining purely through what we call ourselves, which is not at all. We are not the things we call ourselves. We're the 0 point. Simply just the 0 point. And we can never find that place as long as we're looking for it. That's the gig. You can't find the 0 point. You can't find the center point because it's not hidden. It's not a place I need to go to find it. So it's not hidden. In fact, it's right under your very own nose. Look, right? And it's right there. Literally right there. And if you have to touch yourself, your G spot, your God spot, and massage it a little bit, you will begin to feel something. I'm serious. For anyone, you will begin to feel that as you open, here's your key. There's the gate. As you massage, you are turning the lock, the knob. The door opens. Because you feel this. In fact, you could try this. Put a finger here and put a finger here. If you stay with it long enough, 30 seconds, you will begin to feel this oscillation, this movement of energy. And when you feel it, you become aware of another part of yourself that you never knew existed. You want to find Jesus? I'll tell you where Jesus lives. You want to find the Christ? Of course it lives here, right there, right between your eye. If you want to see Christ, that means Jesus. It means Christ. Jesus is in Christ, but the Christ is greater than the personality we knew as Jesus. Jesus became that level of Christ. So if you want to see the Christ, I'm vesseling this. If you want to see the Christ, look here. If you want to be with the Christ, feel here. So you begin to feel yourself here, the center point. Then you begin to massage something about yourself that actually steps forward and says, I've been waiting for you to call me. It's a clarion call. July 31st, 2020. My soon-to-be released book, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. I'm asking not my prayer warriors, my share warriors, my dare warriors. Gavin says, you were worthy. We are all worthy. I love it. I love me some G. July 31st, 2020. Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Homecoming. I will spin you into the garden really quick. I will continue to forever output. We're going through some tough stuff. I am grateful. We all should be grateful. This individual is on the earth. There are many such individuals. This one is truly one of the individuals, which is actually the wholeness. This is not an individual. In fact, that's the Lord. So the Lord is not a thing, and it's not a person. Like I mentioned, Jesus became the all-consuming, omnipresent Christ. So the Lord is not a man. It is included, but the Lord is the Lord. It is this universal conscious power that there's nothing it isn't. There's nothing it can't do. It is the Lord. He just happens to be on this earth looking like a human being so we can understand what divinity walks, talks, acts, and behaves like. So in such a way, we begin to homecome through his lesson as we cross the bridge to the soul. It's not hard. It never has been. We've always went to the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Individuals. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How can we understand multiple numbers that go on to 3 digits, 4 digits, 5 digits, millions, billions, trillions, quillions, billions? That's putting the cart before the horse. If we can't understand the true concept of 1, we will never understand millions, billions, and trillions. And if we can't understand the concept of 1, how are we ever going to understand the concept of 0? Because you, my friend, you are the 1. There's nothing else. You are the 1. And the only other, so to speak, 1 that exists is the 0 in you. I am the 1. And the 0 lives in the center point. The 0 point lives in the center point. And when I start to integrate that and graduate into that, not even the 1 exists anymore. All that exists is the 0. Pure potential, infinite cosmic expansion. So when you leave the 2, you can't leave the 2 until you fully understand what it is to be the 1. You can't leave the 1 until you truly understand what it is to be the 0. Then you become the cosmic hero. Hello, Becky. Hello, David Murray Raper. Center of light, 0. Center point. That which creates worlds and universes, not only does it live inside of me, it is making me its puppet. It's using me. I am a pawn. How can I be animated as a human being otherwise? It'd be arrogant to think so. That I think in my level of consciousness, that I can just do all these things and have all these things happen. That's impossible. So what we do, we humble ourselves to the 1 teaching. And the 1 teaching is, you're greater than you can possibly imagine. And that which lives inside of you creates worlds and universes. And then when you really begin to initiate that understanding, integrate that understanding, and graduate into that standing under of something that is everything, you lose your very self. You have to die. To be with Jesus, you have to die. To be with whoever that you're deity, you have to die. You have to die in the form that what you know as you has to be burnt into the fires of purity and worship. So that what you know as you can become one with your master, the Christ, the Buddhist, the Krishna, the Hindi, this, that, the other. Follow me, I am the way. That's the teaching. All across the land. If you follow your master teacher, do you still want to be you? Or you want to be just like your teacher? I got this brand new little kitty cat in my house. See all this? Listen to this. See all this stuff? These battle scars? They're all over me. I mean, truly all over me. That's what kitties do. They want to use teeth and they want to use claws. But I put a toy as a buffer in between. But she'll still reach around and I get it. And what happens is, because those little needles are so sharp, they'll poke my skin. And because there's bacteria, I'll get these little blisters and I triple antibiotic cream them every day, all day long. But I'm using this metaphor, this story, this analogy is because she wants to be with me. Touches my heart. So she's not worried about her. She's worried about being with me. When we not worry about ourselves, that I want to be with my Lord, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, my child, that which, an ice cream cone that I didn't drop into the sand. I just want that thing that means something to me. It means something to you because you are wanting to aspire to it. I'm moving towards something that you want. If you had it, you don't have to be that little kitty cat that follows me everywhere I go. She attacks my leg just to play with that little kitty pounce. This is not about her in this regard. For her, it's about me, which really makes it about her. Same thing when we follow our deities. It's about me, yes, because I want to follow this deity. And when we follow the deity, we get so lost in it, we often find ourselves or treat ourselves as not worthy. We will never reach it. How can you reach worthiness if you're not worthy? No one is casting judgment upon anything except ourselves. Who else could be better at the task? Who else should we ask? My name is Keith Blanchard. I'm going to take a short pause. Going to be right back. Gavin. Thank you. Dana, Melinda, Gail, Salvador. Pri Puruwe Hapakuku. When I get back, I'm going to read some excerpts from Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Hi, Nori. Salvador says the old self must die and you must be reborn. Center of light, 0. Center point. Your life is a choice. The only real free will that you have. You really don't have free will except one. To move into the flow consciously or be in the flow unconsciously. Either way, guess what? You already win because you are in the flow. But unconsciousness will be like rapids that you as a rock, solid as a rock and not willing to budge, will buck the current. And it will create rapids, troubled waters, like a bridge over troubled waters versus crossing the bridge to the soul. You will find trouble in your life. Trouble would love to hang out with you. Trouble loves you. It would like to hang out with you no matter who you are. Trouble loves me. Equally, effortless ease, bliss, joy wants me as well, like that little kitty cat. The 0 point is there is none of this and there is none of that. So the trouble that wants to be with you and the joy that wants to be with you is truly not the truth. The truth is you just want simply to be with yourself. And how you treat yourself, congratulations, you got it. That's it. That's the 0 point. And then 0 is every thing. It's everything. Begs the question, Lavender Soul, my spiritual band. I just got my new recording gear in. I'm going to start recording. I wrote this song many years ago, recorded members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. In this forum, while I'm thinking about it, thank you, Gavin, you can find links to pre-order Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You can really help our time in the garden together by sharing this work, sharing these links, pre-ordering, buy a gift to someone else, whatever. I would love you for it. You can own a piece of my heart. The G-spot. The God spot. Massage it. I posed this question years ago. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra helped me put this album together. The little baby you hear crying halfway through is my son. He's now 15. He was 6 months old. And there was an empty spot in the song. I was like, I need to put something there. But I'm going to wait for it to happen. And one day my son was crying. I was like, oh, that's it. What am I looking for? What can you look for better than your own child? Because when they're born, God will pay you a visit and says, how you like me now? Well, when he was born, I got the, how you like me now? What am I looking for? So when he started crying, I went upstairs, pressed record. I had to boot up my computer. So I'm sorry, Eden. I had to keep agitating him a little bit to keep him crying. So I booted up my computer, opened my software, and I swear to you, I recorded this cadence. I didn't manipulate this track at all. All I said was I need this much of it and that much of it. And I dropped it, and it felt perfect. What am I looking for? You're looking for the 0 point. How do you find the 0 point? Stop looking. Stop doing, stop thinking, stop talking. just be quiet and be in the 0 point. And then any small stone that you throw in the still divine ocean, ripples begin to happen. And you struck a chord with your divine parent who loves you beyond measure, says, yes? Dad, can I have this? Mom, can I have this? Go reach in your mom's purse and grab $20. Sure you can. And we'll get it. Are you with it? What am I looking for?
You haven't tried. Your search for love is taking chances. Have you ever thought to look inside?
What am I hoping for? Better world, is there a cure? What can I do to help the score? I'm at a loss, I'm just not sure. What am I praying for? To see the light around the world and the people's love restored. Peace on earth, of this I'm sure.
Where do you go to find your answers? There is a place you haven't tried. Your search for love is taking chances. Have you ever thought to look inside? try. Your search for love is taking chances. Have you ever thought to look inside? You hold the key to find your answers. I am the door you have not tried. Never again taking chances. Open your heart and walk inside. Walk inside.
Welcome back to Center of Light. I want to address a question that my friend Salvador posed. He asked the question, let me find it. I lost it in a couple of things. Hello, Tony Meharry. Tonight's Center of Light 0, center point. Massaging the G-spot. G-spot. Touching the G-spot. God spot. Massaging the gate. Putting the key in, wanting to turn it. Touch yourself in the center of your chest. Want something greater than you've always known. Mean it. Be passionate about it. Be humble about it. Be sincere about it. Salvador says, teacher, I feel like I got the knowledge, but I lack the discipline and putting it into action. Yah is the fire, my bro. So I want you, when you begin to do what I've been instructing all night for everyone, including myself, we begin to activate this spot, the G spot, simply by massaging it. It awakens the fire in you, the drive, the passion. That would be Yah. That would be everything's backwards. Yah. The circle in the yoke of the Y represents completion, unity, wholeness, God. When you get married, you put a circle on your finger, implying a marriage, a unification with another. Yah. God, the heart, will, power, fire, passion. The Na is the mind, regardless of if it's clear or not. Hopefully, we all will become that as soon as possible. The line on top of the N represents the linear way of the mind. Past, present, future. The Va has a spine or a lightning rod, if you will, which would be phenomenal to plant that very drive, Salvador. Let me change the music. Yanava, Y-N-V, Yanava. This is an, you can see it now. Yanava, Y-N-V. These are ancient seed syllables, primordial seed syllables. It exists as the core of every human being. It's you. You're Yanava. I just chose it as a name for my work, because I've integrated that Yanava itself as to why I am this teacher. Enough about me, more about you. I want you to see something. That for all of you, that what happens when you begin to initiate integrate, graduate into this yanava of yourself, that center point, that zero. You become the hero. So Salvador, because of your beautiful statement, I want to give you this, my friend. This spot is inherent with everything you can possibly imagine. That should be a motivating factor. Now you put the key in the car. The car begins to purr. The spiritual Ferrari begins to purr under your backside. And it sounds like beautiful music. Hello, Tom Selleck, Magnum PI, driving that hot rod Ferrari, that red one. It's got that fire. It's got that thing. That thing. There's no way I can be stopped ever. I'm invincible. Sounds like sci-fi, doesn't it? Good. It implies a future experience of yourself. Sci-fi. Science fiction. Tell that to Gene Roddenberry. And all of his science fiction is now science fact. Hello, infinite being. Time travel. When you engage that engine, my bro, and you use the mind in its clear capacity to steer that automobile, that spiritual Ferrari, the car that we know as the Ferrari will take us exactly where we want to go, and very quickly, as Ferraris do. There's your drive, brother. There's your drive. Stay in your own lane. Don't veer. Don't be unconscious and switch lanes without looking over your shoulder to your past. At last, take a good look at it so you know how to navigate, negotiate the road, the path that you are on. When you do, your insurance will go down and your assurance will go up. Hello, Geico. 15 minutes will save you 15% or more on your car insurance. I know you understand it. I like playing with words. They're fun. It's a beautiful game of life for me. I hope that works for you, my friend. Karen Cox, hi. Tony Mahari. I did say Mahari. Tony says, I have figured out what's going on in our world right now. God is exposing everyone's true heart. Amazing. You are beyond right. And guess what? He's also, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. Said differently, he's also exposing everyone's true hurt. So it can all be seen. And everyone gets to make choices. That's the beauty. The land of America. The home of the free, supposed, and the brave. You have to be brave to be free. But the land of America doesn't mean this political nationalism and patrioticism. That's not what America means. America means you are free. So if you live in England, Australia, Spain, wherever you live, if you are free, you are living in the understanding the idea of America. Doesn't make America a better country than yours. That's not the point at all. So America is about the freedom that everyone can choose. If you don't like what's on the TV, instead of bitching about it, just change the channel. Leave people alone. Here's your solution. Here is the formula to world peace. Here's the formula to world peace. Everyone leave everyone else alone. Just everyone leave everybody else alone. World peace happens because all the bickering begins to stop. Shh. Nothing has to be said. You can bet the people that you're not attracted to will have their place in town. They will have their own neighborhood and they will congregate there. Just leave them alone. If you're not interested in what they're into, let them thrive. God lets us all thrive, even the bad people. So how do we find peace with the bad people? Stop associating with bad people. Stop associating yourself with bad things. Things that are bad in the world. I'm not asking you to remove yourself and your compassion from the world situation. But don't go into it unconscious, because in unconsciousness is trouble. Unconsciousness always causes trouble. Consciousness always nurtures, supports, brings about bliss. Either way, we get what we want. All right, let's get down to some reading from Homecoming, my new book coming out July 31st, 2020, thanks to Gavin Lee Davies. I love that sexy man. Also, if you would, I'm going to take this time to do this. Gavin, please do me a favor. Please don't not do this. Grab your link to your website and drop it in my page. Thank you, Gavin. Gavin is an author himself of the paranormal. His first book, Ghost Sex. His second book, Haunted, something of Haverford West. His new release is, I'm going to get it, Harvest, about people being abducted, not in a good way. Hello, Melanie Cox. So I'm going to read from my soon-to-be released Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Thank you, Gavin. Gavin just posted his website in here, y'all. Check out his work. It's crazy good. I interviewed Gavin 4 years ago, give or take. People who know me know that I love definitions. Why do I love definitions? Because definitions will not let you out of the box until you agree with what it is. It's the collective conscious resource. Thank you, Gavin. I love it. Gavin also has an ongoing magazine. Guess who's in it? Definitions will not let you out of the situation until you agree with it. Because it is the collective agreement of what we call our resource for language. Hello, Carmen Shasha. So, definitions paint the beautiful picture of that is what a definition is. The definition of any said thing in the form of an image looks like that. Because you can bet these wordsmiths are clear as a bell. To make it so unbiased, so non-prejudiced, just this is that and there is nothing else. And that's what this thing means. Said word that we're trying to understand if we choose to look in the dictionary of it. So tonight, I want to share with you that there is no escape of the definition of the word center. Center of light, 0 tonight. Center point. God. Point to yourself. This is me. How many people yet? In fact, try this tomorrow. When you go anywhere, say, do me a favor. Just play my game with me. Point to yourself. You will never see someone do that. Never. They'll say, this is me. All right. Ask the same person. Said same question. Said differently. Give it some time. 30 minutes. And then say, play my game with me. Point to where God dwells. They likely can say heaven. And then you can maybe gently, lovingly remind them, didn't Jesus say the kingdom of God is within? Can you point to that? And then they do this. Where do we end in the doing of this? And where does the God that we pointed to begin in the doing of this? It is truly just simply the doing of this that brings us to the center 0 point. So the definition of center is this. The middle point of a circle or sphere, equidistant from every point on the circumference or the surface. In other words, though I'm using this as the center point, this is truly not the center point. This is the clear mind. The center point is actually the nucleus inside of this clear mind. It is so in there as a very minute particle. Let me read that again. The middle point of a circle or sphere. This is all just coming together so beautifully, spontaneously. The middle point of a circle or sphere, equidistant from every point on the surface or circumference. The point from which an activity or process is directed, or on which it is focused. I'm clear because I'm focused. This is delicious. Have or cause to have something as a major concern or theme. This has me by the boo-boo. So I'm hyper-fixed or focused on it. And I begin to exacerbate my situation. Pro or con. Focus, concentrate, pivot, hinge, be based, revolve around. Have as its starting point. Place in the middle. To center the needle, turn the knob. Here's the definition. Hello, Darlene. Here's the definition of zero. Nothing. Figure zero. Point on a graduated instrument, you are the instrument, from which positive and negative quantities are reckoned. In other words, it requires a forgiveness. And forgiveness does not only mean I forgive the bad. Check this out. This will really bake you noodle. I hope you like pasta. It's not only forgiving the bad. Strangely, it's also forgiving the good. Forgiving the good to others. So it's not forgiving as in the form of forgiveness for the bad. It is that, but it's also reckoning with it. Making amends. Coming back to the 0 point. That which cancels out, that which reckons the distance between myself as the 0 and the 2 points of reference as positive, negative, right, wrong, good, bad, in, out, hot, cold, holy, blasphemous. But also, it's forgiving the positive stuff. It's a forgiving of something, a giving of yourself forward to another person. It all applies. It's all applicable. From homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. Spirit says, Keith, I ask you to reflect on your body and see it as one living organism housing billions of cells. Skin cells, liver cells, brain cells, blood cells, and so on. All of them encapsulated in one wrapping of flesh. This holds true for the earth as well, where there are billions of individual cells called people who differ from one another in personality, appearance, sex, and race. Humans are embraced by a much larger organism, Earth. Humans are to Earth as cells are to humans. From micro to macro, the universal design is the same. Atomic to cellular, to body, to world, to solar, to galactic, to stellar, to universal. As above, so below, on forever it will go. All systems spin around one central source, center, point. Atoms and cells have elements spinning around one central source called the nucleus. Hello, nucleus 8. And you and the earth spin around one central source called the sun. The solar system revolves around the Milky Way galaxy with that huge cluster of stars at its center. Galaxies rotate around the cosmos, and the universe revolves around God, the great central sun. I know you have heard the expression, he thinks the world revolves around him. Well, this is the truth of it. Everything revolves around me, meaning spirit, for it is I who spins all into life. Hi, Carl. Hi, Jill. Hi, Fawn. Spirit I say to spirit. Hello, Janelle. I say to spirit. It sounds pretty simple. I mean, as far as how you have things laid out. Gavin, I hope you got that picture of nucleus 8 I sent to you today, bro. I hope you liked the profile of the 1,500 word blog about the story of nucleus. It's phenomenal. So I say to Spirit, it sounds pretty simple. I mean, as far as how you have things laid out. And Spirit says, yes, Keith, it is so simple that without forcing anything, the truth brings about the natural flow of life and light that allows the divine to be omnipresent. That is just the way it is. I do not judge it, for it is what it is. And I say, do you think I will ever get there in this lifetime? And Spirit says, that is entirely up to you. Know that even now you have what it takes to grasp the complexity of the universe and to anchor the divine principle if you accept living in love as your abiding criterion. With this new awareness of your relationship to the earth, other human beings, and God, you now have the ability to understand all that is taking place in this era that you are living in. We are speaking about right now. This was vesseled in 1996. Tony Meharry says, Nucleus 8, remember that. Tony, do you know about that story? If not, I will send you the story. 1996, this was vesseled. When we understand our relationship to the earth, other human beings, and God, we will have the ability to understand all that is taking place in this era. Spirit continues, I share with you this truth of your connectedness. Right there. All of it's right there. To bring you stability and to provide you with a deeper comprehension of the way things will play out in these transitional times. I did tell you that Tony at a gig. Tony's a phenomenal drummer. I've played with him many times. Actually, I should say he's played with me. And so I asked this very honest question of Spirit. Spirit says, your connectedness will bring stability and to provide you with a deeper comprehension of how things will play themselves out in these transitional times. This was 1996. And I asked this question of Spirit, you mean things will get worse before they get better? Here is the point of tonight's presentation. As I mentioned earlier, I asked Spirit, do you mean things will get worse before they get better? And this is the response. I did not say that, Keith. You did. But I can tell you that your unity with God in the earth will only aid you when the wheels of Spirit really begin to roll. And I say, that sounds both promising and ominous. What dynamic is taking place now? 1996, 2000, 2020. Earth's energy is beginning to shift dramatically, and it is lifting at an exponential rate. The pace of life is accelerating like never before, and in this age of computer technology, when new phenomena quickly become obsolete, most people find it tough just to keep up. But it is very important for all of you to update yourselves and absorb as much information in formation as possible. This was foretold through many different scripture for thousands of years. My book, The Divine Principle, bestseller, married with my journey to India for the love of God, a spiritual journey, per suggestion of my beautiful cosmic brother Gavin Lee Davies, has created the third something. Book. And what lies in the zero, the center point, is a book coincidentally titled Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. In it, you will learn of many things. 30 years of spiritual passion, diligence, sincerity, humility, vulnerability went into the fashioning of this soon-to-be worldwide distribution productive book. You can order now online, pre-order. You will help me so greatly. Let me grab that link. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to go into vessel mode, I am sure. Gavin Lee Davies is on it like nobody bee-waxing. Salvador says, I want to get that book soon. Thank you. Robert Harrison, what's up, my bro? Tony, I recently yesterday, read some stuff by Dr. Rex Hare, the 40-year clinical psychologist that married the woman that Nucleus 8 worked through. He's written 5 books, and they're all free. He's a psychologist. He can write. He's a very smart man. They're all free. He will explain, share everything that's happened through him for 15 years. I've included that in something I sent my marketing manager, Mr. Gavin Lee Davies, today, about Dr. Hare's role with Nucleus 8, who is part human, part alien gray. So his human side had a lot of emotional trouble. And as a psychologist, Dr. Rex Hare worked with Nucleus, who happens to be the Lord, I mean this literally, the Lord of security in this quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. Excuse me. Yes. He is the Lord of security in this quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. He lives on a planetary starship station 27,000 light years away from us on another dimension. I've been to that place 4 or 5. I've been to it often. I'm cognizant of it 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe whatever times. But when Nucleus does come back to Earth, he contacts me via Facebook, and we have the most amazing dialogue. Sounds crazy. Good. Crazy's good. Normal is dead. It's old. Normal's crazy. Crazy is the new beautiful possibility. I'm in it to win it. Stop being mad. Being pissed off, be pissed off. If you need to be. Don't be mad. Pissed off means I have something to say and God damn it, I want you to hear me. Then when you're done with that, you're done with that. You don't linger into that. You express yourself rawly if need be. Release your spirituality back into its natural, wild, raw state. Then you leave it alone. But being mad and pouting. I'm just ongoing mad at this person and this thing that's happened. That's part of the noise. That's taking you so far from the 0 point. It's taking you to the points of the fragments and the shattered mirror that's on the ground, that when in our unconsciousness we walk in these shards of glass and we cut ourselves. Or, in consciousness, do you realize that every shard of glass from that mirror on the ground, if you consciously pick it up and look into it, you see the whole. You can have thousands of pieces of mirror on the ground. And when you pick up that mirror, that pure mirror that was whole at one time, even in its multiple fragments, it's still whole. Pick up a little shard of a mirror and look at it. You still see the same reflection. How is it possible? This is going to freak you out. Freak you in. I have a whole mirror. And I look into it and I see my reflection myself. And I'm a handsome son of a bitch. So you see yourself. You take that mirror and you drop it on the ground. Every little piece of every fragment, even if it's hundreds of thousands, you pick up, you look into it, you see your same self. How is that possible? Because that is the infinite truth. In everything, every part of your reflection, even when your life is broken like that mirror, you have no choice but to see yourself. That should illuminate you and motivate you to go, oh my God, am I truly that powerful that everything I pick up and look at, I'm being reflected my beautiful sacred self? Yeah. As above, so below, on forever it will go. There will be nothing else. There is no other lesson. There's nothing else pressing upon you except you and what you're choosing. Become better at choosing. Be willing to lose everything. to find nothing. In the losing of everything, you won't find other things. Don't delude yourself. What you've been looking for looks at yourself when you look into a mirror. That's what you're looking for. And in that is everything possible. Anything that can mean anything at all. One more short pause. Going to be right back. I'm going to go into vessel mode. Vessel mode. I've been in vessel mode. You are in vessel mode. There's no way we cannot all be in vessel mode. I use that word to say that I'm going to intend to get more of what I know is me out the way and allow whatever just happens without attachment. Completely detached of what is being said. So when I detach from what is being said, I get to feel what is being said. I get to be in that Garden Gate, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge of the Soul. I am posting that link again. Please support me. 1 second. And this beautiful creation endeavor of mine. Melinda says, you're a hunk of nothing. Robert says, remember Eddie Childs? I'm mad and I know you are too. I'm going to be right back. Short pause. How about something different? A dear sister friend of mine, 21 years old, she wrote this beautiful song and recorded it at Memphis State University. 21. She wrote this song. This recording is gorgeous. Listen to the lyrics. It sounds like a soundtrack for a movie. Carmen Shasha says, yes, let's do vessel mode. Thank you, Shasha. I miss you. You are dear to me. Allie Wallace, a song called Like I Did. She had her heart walked on. No, she didn't. Her heart wasn't walked on. Her mind was trampled on. See, most people call heartache, heartbreak. The heart cannot break. That's eternal. It's the mind and its expectations that crack. And we want to blame it on the heart because the mind doesn't want to own that shit. That's the mind. The mind doesn't want to own it. The mind wants to blame. Shame, game, or blame. So we call it heartbreak. It's the mind. And expectations crack. Like that mirror. Those shards on the ground. And either way, no matter what piece you pick up, you see yourself. You are love beyond measure. I'll be right back. Keith Anthony Blanchard, Yanava.
I don't know anymore. My mind and soul, they fight the war. Lost my faith in myself and everything else. Yet I'm so afraid to lose it all. I guess I'd rather try than die not knowing. I guess I'd rather fight than give up hoping that maybe you would find the courage to grow with me. All I want is you, nothing but you. This won't work unless you want me to fight for me, dear. That's all I ask of you. So go ahead and reel me in again. Love me good and make me feel something. Promise me you'll never let me go. Go ahead and break my heart again. If she flirts, she's more than just a friend. Fool me twice, I guess this one's on me. But don't you ever expect anyone to love you like me. I don't know anymore. I ask myself, what is this for? just know today. I guess I'd rather try than die not knowing. I guess I'd rather fight than give up hoping that maybe you and I could make it some way somehow. But maybe it is best to give up hoping, suffer through the pain of losing you, knowing there's still so much of me that loves so much of you. So I'll go ahead and break your heart this time. In the end, at least it wasn't mine, though this hurts me more than I can bear. I promise you you'll find somebody new, and I know I'll find somebody who will love me for exactly who I am. But don't you ever expect anyone to love you like me. Oh, like me. You lied, I thought you were my friend, a thief who stole my innocence. I fought and lost, your heart was not the broken one. I tried to fight the fears that I had to hide, but in the end, I let myself be free. So I'll go ahead and love myself this time. Cut you off, get you out of my mind. The pain is dulled and I can finally breathe. I'll work on me and find somebody new, 'cause I know I'll find somebody who will love me for exactly who I am. But don't you ever expect anyone to love you like I did.
Welcome back, my beautiful, sexy human friend, creatures, people. Keith Anthony Blanchard is Center of Light. I was going to say radio. It's a habit. I'm going to bring Center of Light radio back soon. I had this aspect of Center of Light radio with this software, bringing people in from Skype. It went a little cuckoo, hee. And so the devs, the developers, are working on an aspect of software just for me. So I'm waiting for that. So heads up, Gavin. I did get your request for many radio opportunity interviews today. Thank you. I'll get to those tomorrow. But as well as the people you're sending my way so that I can interview. And I love our shake hands relationship. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard, the Center of Light Radio. My new book coming out. You can go to Amazon right now. Right freaking now. And look up Keith Anthony Blanchard, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You can pre-order that now. You can also grab this video and just drop it on your wall. Why not? You can go to Amazon, pre-order, drop this video on your wall as well. Both. So it's not the this or this that. It's the 0 point. It's the center point of you just choosing to do that. And I would appreciate it greatly. As I continue to output my heart, my passion, my love, my life, my desire to be an instrument of peace, to bring about something beautiful in this world that, as far as I see, is hungry for. Are you hungry? I love supplying spiritual manna, spiritual food. Chicker dude. Allie Wallace, wasn't that a beautiful song? My God. She's a star child, obviously. Let's read a couple of comments before I go into Vessel. I want to acknowledge everyone here. I love acknowledging people. I like to be acknowledged. I ain't gonna lie. I love my ego. My ego serves me greatly. Without ego, you cannot drive your car. You'd be pure spirit, and therefore invisible. So I love my ego. I've learned to love Salvador, as you so beautifully, deliciously brought up earlier. I accept my flaws. So I accept my ego. In fact, I love it. I love doing the things that Keith does. I love not doing the things that Keith does not do. I love all those things. Salvador, Rena, Sana, Gail, Melinda, Tony Maharit, Gavin Lee Davies. I'm always inundated with sexy human beings. It's just delicious. There's no way out of this for me. The way out is the way in for me. The way out for the world only will happen from within. There is nothing else. There's nothing else. You have to, we have to be the change we want to see in the world. Vessel mode. I want to explain, share with you. I don't know why. I just grab it. This is really important to understand. Center of light, you're the center. Light lives in you, and that light creates worlds and universes. Center of light, 0. The nothing, which is actually very accurate, but not like we think. It's the everything. Pure potential. God lives in us. It's pure potential. Expressive, expansive, ever-changing. The only thing that will never change is God expressing itself, and everything changes. I just reached over here without even thinking about it. I didn't second guess myself to grab this brass singing bowl with my brass singing bowl. My heart. Earlier tonight, I kept saying, tap on your G-spot. Get yourself off with your divine lover. Your G-spot, your God spot. This would be that spot. This would be the intention of touching yourself to initiate a divine affair. How you like that? So this would be the heart that's simply sitting there waiting for its tines to be struck. What is it? For those who don't know, what is a tine? It's the two arms on a tuning fork, the tines. The pitchfork's tines. So this would be the heart. And it's sitting there patiently forever. Here's what you would call your intention. As I just simply reached over and grabbed this bowl to go into vessel mode, we're going to see what becomes of this. That is the this that I talked about earlier. It's like a phone call. In this phone call, if you're waiting for someone to pick up the phone, you've missed it. It's in the calling that you will hear the clarion calling. It's for the reasons of no reason. There is no season. There is no teasing. There is no pleasing. It's simply for the sake of a doing of a something that we use as an excuse to open up the God gate. When in truth, the God gate is never closed. It's never closed. If it was closed, you could not breathe. Get off my neck. I can't breathe. Put a mask on. I get all these beautiful lessons from the world. It's not politics. I'm not into the politics or the parlor tricks. Shouldn't you breathe in God's precious oxygen, life-giving breath in every area of your life? Where are you stifling yourself? Where are you choking yourself? When and where do you feel that you simply cannot breathe? Maybe you should stop going to that place or that space. and fall into the infinite, ongoing, ever-consuming grace that is simply all around you. That is the 0 point. There is nothing else. It's come personified as the one you know as the Christ. It's come personified as the Buddha, the Krishna, the Muhammad, the saints, the prophets. The question becomes, are you profiting from it at all? What are you choosing? Are you winning or are you losing? Are you massaging or are you bruising your heart by being too hard? We're asking you to massage your heart, open the gate. We're not asking you to bang on the door. It sort of sounds like discipline, doesn't it? Hence the word disciple. Hello, Salvador. But discipline in the form of reprimand, getting your ass spanked. This never goes anywhere. Because in such doing, all this energy is being exerted into impregnating the child with guilt, self-punishment, self-delusion, not accepting their faults and their flaws. And so, to appease some of it, you get lied to with a little bit of grace from what you have been taught to be Santa Claus. Once a year I get grace. Horseshit. Santa Claus is none of that. Saint Nick is exactly this. When you look into the basket, into the sack of gifts that you've always had, you've never not had them. Even in the dark night of your soul, even in your darkest despair. The toys, the ice cream cone you dropped into the sand was always there for you to be careful so you could keep it in hand and bring the toys into your hand and into your being and consume it and play with your life as you honestly deserve. As you navigate down the road of your life, be careful not to swerve. That's called center of light 0. You are the human hero. Center point. It's always here. Get upset if you need to and get pissed. And if you're going to do it to the hilt. Give yourself 2 hours to just get infuriated. Well, Keith, shouldn't I not do that? It's all about your intention of healing or deceiving yourself and bearing it further as a thorn into the mind. So why not deal with the thorn right here, right now? I am upset. I'm upset. I'm pissed. Good, get it. Milk that rag for all that it has. And when you're done, you obviously know there's no more juice in the rag. So continually trying to squeeze it to receive some sort of something from it becomes pointless. And that you understand that. You decide to put the rag down, evaporation happens, it dries out and becomes a memory. And then you remember yourself. I'm done with that. Who is this me that is now done with that? That is the question. That is the 0. That is the center point. Everything around you without malice is not true. It is an outright lie. It doesn't mean that that which you call outside of you is not important, integral, priority, important, integral, and priority truly has its greatest bang power and force and influence in the 0 point, in the center. Is it possible that you can will your life forth by simply going and it be done versus this is a monumental graduation, stepping stone into another level of being. I'm knocking because I care about myself and I want myself to be the effulgence of 10,000 suns. It's done. I don't require anything else. This will bring you to the joy immediately, which joy is always evidence of the presence of your divine Father, Mother principle. Joy is the evidence of the presence of God. Joy is the evidence of the presence of God. Joy is the evidence of the presence of God. I need to write a song about this. Joy is the evidence of the presence of God. Joy is the evidence of the presence of God. Become that lightning rod. Get out of the facade of all that has been binding you, sticking you into the same place that you repeatedly have what we would call a soul hiccup. And it's okay. No one is judging you. Just recognize that you might need some water. Life-giving water. Life-giving spirit. When you hear that, when you clear it, the world will become your oyster. What do we see in oysters? Mother of pearl, as it lines the lining walls, the walls of the oyster. It requires moisture, that which is wet, as you touch your G-spot, your God spot. I asked my son, hello, my sister Kathy. Hello, Priscilla Larpenter. Many years ago, when my son was about, many years ago, my son's now 15, let's say 6 years ago, I shared with him, son, my son is a scientist. He likes information. I said, son, did you know that the eyes and the mouth are the two fastest places in the human body that heal? The eyes and the mouth. Inside the mouth and the eyes is the two places on the human body that heal the fastest. He said, well, of course it is, Dad, because they're wet. I was like, wow, this just came out of my little star child kid. Likewise, when we touch ourself, our G-spot, our God spot, and massage it, and we get ourselves into a space of nirvana, you can call it sexuality, you can call it sensuality, because everything is constantly infusing and imbuing itself into everything. Particles of God, seeds of light. You are, the truth is, the light doesn't live in you. You are the light. You are 98.6 degrees of radiated energy light. If you were not, you would be invisible and people couldn't see you. So you are the light. Infuse yourself with the truth that no matter what, you are invincible. The real part of you and the truth of you is you are actually invisible. You're here in this earth because you choose to be. Again, my name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. I do this simply because I don't have a want or desire for a something from you. But since you asked, Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, July 31st, 2020 release date. You can just share my work. Anytime you see me post something about my book, just share it. You could also go to Amazon.com right now and look up Keith Anthony Blanchard, Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, and simply just pre-order the book. This is always pro bono. So please share. Sonny Bono and share. Sonny Bono, pro bono, and share. I love you. My sister Kathy from South Louisiana says, oysters makes my belly happy. She likes some salty oysters. Carmen Chasha says, thank you. My brother Salvador, who I met today, joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. I want to acknowledge everyone once again. Carmen Shesha, Pri, Puriwe, Habakuku, Salvador, Theresa Love, what's up, girl? Rena, Sana, Melinda, Gail, Gavin. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or the day after. I'm going to take a night off. And again, I want to acknowledge my friend, my lover, my new brother, who I love greatly, Gavin Lee Davies. He just sent me a freaking email inbox full of radio shows. I'm sharing this with you because I'm giddy. I'm like a puppy dog in a store window, tail wagging because I'm about to be bought. I love this whole facade. I love this whole game. It's representative of something that I've been pursuing for years. But I understand it's not about the accolade of that. The accolade is just a validation. I'll take some validation. I like some spaghetti and some pasta. Hell, put me some extra noodles. I'll put me some extra sauce. I get it. But I understand who I am, and I know the value of my work. And I know, even more importantly, I know the value of my play. And I like playing in the cosmic sandbox with you. It's fun. What else do we have to do? You ain't going anywhere. In fact, where we're trying to get to is here. So we can shorten our step into the journey of forever to realize that there is no forever. It's right now. Right now is forever. Forever is, it's all the same story being told. It may be hard to grasp, so stop trying to be so hard on yourself. Ease up. Just wake up in the morning joyfully. Be happy. You have, truly, other than choosing to be happy, you don't have any other choice. You can choose this, and it may fall under the umbrella of the guise of happiness, or you can choose unconsciously this. And you always will get exactly what you want. Just be happy. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard, Center of Light, period, radio, TV, time with you. Center of Light 0, center point. Always here. Be Peter the Rock. Nothing will shake you. You will be moved by the world. They came for your mind. Not they as in people. They. Whatever the they is. It came for your mind. It introduced you and seduced you and tempted you into believing many things since you were born. It came for your mind and it's got your attention. Now it's coming for your emotions. Because as we look out into the world and we see, oh my God, of course it hurts. It's supposed to hurt. You're a human being with compassion. And in your empathy, you know how to ration yourself in and out without a doubt to make a difference. So be smart in your choices. Stay out of it. Stay out of the fight. The fight is going to happen, but the fight will ultimately devour itself. The light will always expand itself. So stay out of the fight until you ignite. And you know when it's time to excite the field of energy. Next, the negative, quote, I don't use this word lightly. In fact, I don't use this word often at all. The evil is coming for your body. They got your mind, they want the emotions, and they want your body. When you understand that there is no body that you have that they can ever get. Many people say the devil will steal your soul. It's horse shit. Your soul does not belong to the devil. Your soul belongs to God. The devil does never steal your soul. In fact, it's physically, spiritually, lawfully impossible. Nothing can ever steal your soul. Not only does your soul belong to God, your soul is God itself. So how can the devil, a figment of a devil, ever steal your soul? It's what you were taught. It's what we bought into, and we begin to believe. And we begin to be deceived. I'm here. Many teachers are here. The world is lighting up. Look within. The world is lighting up. Look around. Look around. The world is lighting up. Are you lighting up? Look within. You are loved beyond measure. Peace, love, and light.